Greetings, I'm John Davis Perry, the second pastor of Mount Sinai of Southeast Georgia. I want to thank you for tuning in. Listen, I want to talk to you today about kingdom dominion, standing up in your kingdom dominion. Literally, I want to talk to leaders and disciples alike about walking in the dominion that God purposed you to walk in and to function in as a child of God. When we talk about dominion, dominion simply means the right to rule and the exercise of that rule. I'm going to say that once again. While we're talking about dominion, dominion has to do with the right to rule and the exercise of that rule. In Genesis chapter 1, 26 through 28, we see that it is established because God said, let us make man in our image, in our likeness, and let them have dominion. God's intent all along was that we would have rule over the things of the earth. Now, we know that when Adam falls, that there's a reversal that takes place. Instead of us operating in dominion, the right to rule and the exercise of that rule, we become ruled by the things that we were intended to rule. And so that's where we find ourselves currently as humanity, ruled by circumstances, situations, emotions. Those things that we were intended to rule have rule over us. But through our relationship with Jesus Christ, he redeems us. He sets back right our ability to operate in God's intent for our life and according to the design of God. And so Jesus does not just come to die for the sins of the world, but he comes to display for us that are being redeemed who we really are in our relationship with God. Now, in the book of Mark, chapter 4, there's a beautiful account. Most of you know this account. It declares that Jesus declares to his disciples, let us go to the other side. And so they jump in the boat. They begin to travel to the other side. But the word of God declares suddenly winds become contrary and the waves begin to splash and spill over into the boat so that the boat is about to sink. The disciples are worried. They're frantic. They run and wake up Jesus, who's sleeping on a pillow, and say to him, aren't you concerned that we are about to die? The word of God declares that Jesus stood up. He spoke, peace be still, and the wind ceased and the waves calmed down. He looks at his disciples and he says to them, why were you afraid? Do you still not believe? And this is where I've been trying to get you at. They say, what manner of man is this that even the winds and the waves obey him? What manner of man is this? He is the man that we are intended to be. While they're sitting there amazed at the fact that he can stand up in dominion and speak to the circumstances and the situations of their moment, he is really displaying for them who they're called to be. I need for you to understand that when you read the Word of God and the acts of Jesus Christ, that you're not just reading a historical figure. Jesus is displaying for you who you are as a child of God. He's showing you your right to walk in the dominion that God established from the very beginning, because he has redeemed, he has saved you from the power and the authority of sin, and now you have the right to operate in God's intent and design for your personal life. I want to encourage you, make this a season that you choose to walk in your right to rule, that you exercise it, because God's given it to you. You shouldn't let it go to waste. I pray that something I said has been a blessing to you. I look forward to sharing more with you in the future. Grace and peace.